I'm Elle Embers, and this is Cosmic Curiosities. Hey friends, I am Elle Embers, and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Curiosities, Cosmic Insights. Today we are journeying into the spirit world and are covering all things spirit teams, spirit guides, guardian angels, whatever you wish to call them. But I will be sharing a bit about my journey in connecting with my spirit team and what it's like to be a trance channel, and basically, what are Spirit Guides 101? So to start things off, you may or may not know, yes, I am a trance channel, a cosmic channel, and I've had this ability my entire life. But when I first discovered it, I was really quite young, so I did feel a little bit unsure and uncertain and a little bit fearful of what it really was and what it really meant for me, what these abilities meant for my life, and what I was meant to do with them. So I did push them down really quite far until I really stepped into my healing journey, and I really stepped into embracing my authenticity and who I really was in its entirety. And I do talk a little bit more about this in my upcoming collaborative book called Emergence. So stay tuned for that, because that chapter, it's not one to miss. It will be released later in 2024. But when getting into the subject of spirit teams, I really just have to say straight off the bat that having more or less numbers in your team does not necessarily mean that you are worse off than anyone else or that you need more help than anyone else. It is just a number. I have roughly 9 permanent members of my spirit team. And what I mean by permanent is that in our spirit team, we tend to have a set number that are there with us all the time. And then we have what we like to call exchange students. And these are spirit teams or spirit guides that come in and out of our life to assist with certain situations, certain skills, or certain life events. So let's say, for example, that you have someone on your spirit team that specializes in psychic abilities, and you have just unlocked your psychic abilities. So your team member is going to be a little bit more prominent for you as you step into those abilities and you unlock that gift. If it was something else that you'd stepped into, let's say you are stepping into healing childhood trauma and you didn't have anyone on your set team that really specialized in that, so they'd almost like phone in a friend to come and assist. So an exchange student that would have a little bit more experience or information can come in and help support you through that process. So that's basically what we mean by the term exchange student. Now, when it comes to your set team, my team likes to explain it a little bit like a sports team. And whether you are a soccer fan, a football fan, a netball fan, whatever team sport is like your team sport, think of it like that. Most teams have a captain, someone that keeps everyone informed, keeps everyone in flow, and this is what we call our primary on our spirit team. Now, my primary, quite a few of you have met her, and that is Sari. Now, Sari is my primary because, in all honesty, she's earned that spot. Like most captains of any team, they've put in the hard yards, and they've done the certifications, they've earned their spot, they have all the experience. So in coming into a primary role in your life, it is generally a spirit that has a lot more experience to cover a lot more situations or a lot more instances that you might come across. Now, in terms of being a spirit guide or being a spirit team member, this is something that is not forced upon them in any way, shape, or form. From what I've understood through my journey and through talking with Sari, is that it's almost like a job opportunity. The way that they've explained this is that we go through life as humans, and we enter this human lifetime with almost like a checklist of experiences that we want to experience or lessons that we want to learn. And we do this and check off this checklist through multiple lifetimes. And once we kind of check off all of these experiences through multiple lifetimes, we are then given a choice. We can either come back to Earth, come back to another human lifetime, and start the whole list of experiences or lessons again, starting with new experiences, new lessons, new life goals, or we can decide to become spirit team members who go through and help assist others in their lives. And these people that they assist are usually someone that they've had really quite strong soul connections with throughout their lifetimes. So when Sari was presented with this choice, she decided to become a spirit team member. And she chose me to help and support because, well, we had a very strong connection in one particular lifetime. So in the lifetime that she often references, it's a lifetime where we were sisters and we lost our parents. She was the older sibling and I was still quite young. And she was left to take care of me and to raise me. So she always had this high sense of responsibility and love for me. And that's why she has quite a nurturing sense to her now, as she's still kind of stepping into that mothering role. Now, a question that a lot of people always ask is, what can my spirit team tell me about my future? So I want to be very, very clear here. Spirits, spirit team members, spirit guides, they are not fortune cookies, okay? This is not their primary role or their reason for being here. So a lot of my spirit team members, they actually have a really uncomfortable relationship with the word guide because they don't feel as though they are guiding us through life, but instead, they feel as though they're moving through it with us. So as we grow, they grow. As we learn, they learn. So moving into a space of questioning of what is possible in our future, there is such a thing as free will. As humans, we have the ability to choose. And if we make one choice, we have consequences for that choice. Different choices equal different consequences. But at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you make the choice to begin with. And yes, there is always the argument of, whether it was destined or whether it was fate. However, my spirit team has always said that they can see the future up until a certain point. So, to explain this, if we are thinking about Google Maps and you're driving down the road and you come across an intersection, and at this intersection, there is a road that turns left and there is a road that turns right. Now, you don't know which road you're going to take, so this is as far as your spirit team can see. This is as far as the map goes for them. So until you make that choice on whether you're going to turn left or you're going to turn right, they can't see any further potentials from that point forward. When you make a choice, then they are presented with multiple different roads, multiple different opportunities, and multiple potential outcomes. But until you make that choice, they can't see anything. So if you're wanting to know about your future, please understand that they can only see until a certain point, until a certain decision is made. And sometimes that decision is not always up to us, but it's up to those around us. You know, maybe it's a loved one's decision that influences our potential future. So please keep this in mind the next time you are curious about what the future may hold for you. Now, in terms of connecting with your spirit team and your spirit guides, this will vary depending on the spirit. When I first entered the spirit world, it was very, very confusing. It's almost like you are entering a fully crowded room, but everyone in this room speaks a different language, and you have no clue what they are saying. When I first stepped into communicating with the spirit world, it was a constant deciphering between different words, sounds, images, feelings, and emotions. And a lot of spirits communicate in a lot of different ways. So just when you feel like you have one language down pat, it changes and you have to learn a completely different one. So just as us humans all have a preferred communication style, so does our spirit team. Now, I have had multiple clients that have gone through energetic coaching with me and have unlocked their ability to channel or communicate with their spirit team. And this is a really common occurrence, but I've never seen anyone's spirit team communicate in exactly the same way. It is always, always, always different. So even just as an example, I have some clients who will communicate with their spirit team through automatic writing. They will write down some questions and then they will write down the answer to these questions. However, the writing from the question to the answer looks completely different. It's a different style of handwriting. It's a different wording. There's a different tone. There's different information. It's like everything has changed. And this is how they best communicate. I have clients who communicate with their spirit team through meditation and will be shown tons of visual images and explained things through almost like a film style of this is what it is. I have clients that use tools and signs to communicate, like pendulums to point them in the right direction or give them an answer to a yes and no. I have coins, heads and tails, these kinds of things. Different signs, different communication. I also have clients who trance channel, just like I do. However, when they trance channel their spirit team, they may not have a different accent, and it just sounds like them. So to anyone who is learning to communicate to their spirit team, please know that there is no right or wrong way to do so. It is just moving through the motions of different communication styles. And I think that this shows a lot of beauty in who we are and what we can do and how our spirit teams are unique to us. But in saying this, there are some people in the world who do share spirit team members. And this is where things like soul families can come into play. Now, from what I have learned and what my understanding is that there are some souls that travel through different lifetimes together, over and over again. And unfortunately, to my spirit team, no matter how much they will try to keep us apart, to expand our experiences in this life, more oftentimes than not, we will find them. And we will have some form of connection to them, whether they're a friend, a loved one, a family member, or whether they're a colleague or just someone at the grocery store that you've passed one time on the street. It is very likely to come into contact in some way, shape, or form. Now, you won't necessarily meet all of your soul family in this lifetime, but chances are you'll most likely meet at least one. So this has been something that I've found a lot in recent years, finding soul family members and coming into contact with people that I've had past relationships with in past lifetimes. And sometimes they're good relationships. Sometimes not so good. Sometimes there's no real relationship at all. But it is something that we have to learn to navigate through, especially when you work in this industry. I come into contact with a lot of different people who are waking up their abilities and learning what is possible for them. So there is something that needs to be said about keeping past relationships from past lifetimes in the past. Not necessarily having to be connected to someone in this lifetime simply because you've been through previous lifetimes together. We are all here to live our own experience, and that means that we have all got our own lessons to learn. Now, I do have some people that I do share Sari with and other members of my team. However, your primary will only ever be your primary. Meaning, Sari is my primary, so therefore she cannot be anyone else's primary. But she can be on someone else's team and assist them in a way that's different to just her assisting someone through a healing. So when we share spirit team members like this, it's not a case of fighting over attention or, that person is that person's primary because they take a higher priority. Nothing like that. It is just spirits being able to access multiple souls through multiple different timelines and multiple different dimensions. Time is not a linear thing, my friend. It is infinitely malleable, and it can be changed, can be altered, and it can be rewritten. And this is something that Sari has done before in her work, in helping others to release trauma on a physical, mental, emotional, and energetic space, to help them overcome things that have happened in different timelines, in different dimensions, that is still somehow affecting them in this one. So this is something that has been really interesting to learn more about and watch unfold over the years. But yeah, I think this covers a lot of the basics of what I believe a spirit team is and what they do and why they are here to support us and how they are here to support us. But most importantly, your spirit team is here to show love, to show support, to show kindness, to show us how to forgive ourselves and others. So in reality, they're really not here to guide us, but they are here to support us. And even in all of the years of learning to talk with them and communicate with them, it's still something that I find is always evolving, constantly changing. Because as we grow and evolve, so does our spirit team. So if you would like to learn more about your spirit team in particular, then you can definitely reach out to me and book a cosmic channeling session with myself and Sari to help connect you to your spirit team and help communicate any messages that are needing to come through for you. We can give you some clarity, give you some guidance, and access healings on a physical, mental, emotional, and energetic level, allowing us to heal more holistically. Well, it has been so exciting to share this with you. I'm so glad that I've been able to share these insights that have come over quite a few years, but have only just sort of been accepted. So I hope that this has been helpful for you, and if you would like to share any insights of your own, please absolutely do send me a message. I would love to hear them. But until next time. This is your Earthside Spirit Guide signing off. Thanks for joining me for today's Cosmic Insight. If you're ready to unleash the magic of your soul and want to work with me, you can send me a message on Instagram at elle.embers or visit my website, elleembers.com.